happy Saturday. Today I want to talk about how I learned to become a more positive person. It was kind of annoying. It was kind of an annoying experience at first. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know about you guys, those of you at least who suffer from depression as well, but I used to think people who were overly positive and always, happy and bubbly and were never miserable, very kind of annoying. I shouldn't have. Those kind of people are probably living a much happier life, And if they're not, they're sure fooling us. For a person with depression, it's very easy to just be stuck in the negative and not be able to see any positive outcome. Now, one of my favorite phrases, which I think I've said a couple times on this channel already, is there's always something good that comes out of something bad. And that's something that I learned from a certain someone, and it stuck with me. Well, this same person, they shared a story about a time they were on their way to work and they were driving a not so reliable vehicle. It broke down on them. So this person was stranded, and instead of having like a mental breakdown and stressing about the situation, this person literally almost shrugged it off and said, wasn't a great car anyway, it was bound to happen. I've got 2 legs, I can still get to work. I thought, what? There's no way that I could ever be that person. That was my first thought, like, all right, maybe this works for you, thinking this way, but I could never. If I were in their shoes and that were to happen to me, I would have lost it. Something like that would have just been the freaking cherry on top, the chip off the iceberg. I don't know, you know what I'm trying to say. And I would have not handled it well at all. Mental breakdown for sure. But that was also the moment I realized that is the difference between someone who copes a whole lot better in stressful situations versus someone like me who completely shuts down. This experience they had with me, that was sort of the moment I realized that I needed to turn the switch. And I really did need to start making some changes to the way I was thinking. I don't want to be that person anymore that completely shuts down when the freaking pencil falls on the ground. I don't know if anyone else with depression experiences this or can agree with this, but there's something about depression that makes you want to be negative. It makes you want to go to that dark place and be there. It's almost like a comfort zone. So any happy situation is almost like too good to be true. And you start questioning life, like, wait a second, I should not be feeling this happy. There's something wrong. I started off with a very small technique, and this was a technique I learned from someone in my depression and anxiety support group, actually. Smiling when they were feeling down actually helped them improve their mood a little bit. So I tried this out. So the drive home from work was the most depressing time for me. Funny, those were times when I would get most anxiety attacks as well. I never put those two and two together. Anyway, driving home from work, I would notice that I'd have a frown on my face. I'd get lost in thought, being stuck in traffic for so long. And when I'd snap out of it, I would realize, and I wouldn't even have to see myself in a mirror, I would feel the frown on my face. And I thought, oh my God, I must look so miserable. So I started to force myself to smile. I use the word force because I was incapable of being a positive person. Hold on, I need to crack my back. And that's hard with the belly in the way, but... Oh, did you hear that? Oh, that felt great. Anyway, so literally this is what I looked like. I'm driving. And this is what I looked like when I would force a smile on my face. It felt fake. It frustrated me at first because if it felt fake, I know that it looked fake. And it was just such a phony feeling like, okay, I'm trying to feel happier by putting this upside down frown on my face, but it's not really working. But I would have to do it like multiple times because I'd smile, I'd feel stupid, and then I would just like frown again. And I'd have to do that several times until I put it on there permanently. And one day, it magically actually worked and made me feel a little bit better. Oh, this is what they were talking about. I think I'm gonna be trying to do this like every day. Forcing myself to smile actually did improve my mood. And when it started working, it gave me hope that maybe other techniques would work too. So the next thing I tried to do was start reacting differently to bad situations. At first, I did a 180. I turned into that person where if I was struggling with something, I had a terrible headache, I had another episode, I had a bad day at work. Okay, but girl, you have a job. You can afford to pay all your bills. You have a roof over your head. You have basically everything that you need to survive. For me, I thought that was the right thing to do. And it may be the right thing to do for some people. But later on, I found out, not for me. Because I did hit a wall eventually when things were going so bad that I could not. Thoughts like that weren't even working anymore. Thoughts like that were like, what am I even telling myself? You know, I'll give you an example. I'm in the hospital with a kidney infection. I got really scared and I thought I was gonna die. And I was trying to tell myself these things. There's literally a little girl or a little boy with a terminal illness, and you're over here crying about a kidney infection. Knock that off, you know? My husband was catching on to this type of mentality, and he told me, this is not healthy for you. I don't know where you got these ideas from, but if you're in pain, like if you're in physical pain, you're kind of allowed to whine about it instead of going back to the way I used to think, like, oh no, like then nothing good is gonna happen. My husband helped me to be positive in a more healthy way, if that makes sense. For example, telling myself, okay, ouch, this really does hurt. This kidney infection hurts. But I can get through this because I've been through a lot already. I've had some quite challenging times in my life where I really thought I wasn't gonna make it, in the sense like financially, or, you know. I have been homeless, true story, which I'll probably talk about in another video, but I have been homeless before, and I made it through that, you know. I've had other physical issues that I've had to go to the hospital for, and I got through all of that. So just tell myself, like, you are strong, you're a strong woman, you can get through this, the pain is temporary, do what you know you're supposed to do, even if you're scared of it, like taking medication that the doctors recommend. I was put on antibiotics as much as I didn't want to be put on them. And I'm very glad that my husband helped me, tweak that mentality a bit so that it was not overly positive in a way that was unhealthy for me. So now when bad things happen, I like to leave other people out of the equation and focus on myself. And it's the one time that I'm allowed to be selfish because I'm going through a rough patch and I need to find a way to get through it. I get a little selfish and I start thinking about my needs, what I need to do for myself to get through it. And for me, that has been a very healthy mentality. It may not be for everyone, but it was for me. Especially after being told that other people have it worse and basically my suffering is not valid and I was really sad. Trying to have a more positive mindset. It's not easy. It's something that took me years. If you want to see improvement, if you want to see changes in the way you cope with your anxiety and depression, you have to do your homework. And it's kind of hard work. It takes a lot out of you at first, but it's so worth it in the end. I want to encourage others to really try and make that shift. And it's not going to be an easy transition, but when you start working on it and really try and change your mentality and change the way you react and the thoughts that you have when something bad happens, it really does help. But speaking of positivity, I had to take a glucose test because my glucose levels were elevated, and I was a little concerned because they were testing for gestational diabetes, and if I spend 1 minute worrying about this diabetes thing, my mind could go to a very dark place. This could be serious. My mom had it with one of her pregnancies. I don't know if she's had it for more, but she definitely had gestational diabetes, so I didn't even want to think, oh, I'm totally gonna get it if my mom did. Life is too short. I'm gonna enjoy that ice cream cone, damn it. And I did. That is what I now do. It was a 2-year struggle to change my mentality. I would start off with smiling. Take those little baby steps, make those little changes in life. You know what you need to do. I can't be here telling you what to do. I encourage you to try them out. Do the things that are outside of your comfort zone. I recently came across this thing on the interwebs. Someone said, don't believe everything you think. This is spiritual proof that your brain does its own thing sometimes, has its own thoughts. No, we're not talking schizophrenia, don't get scared. We're talking a lot of times you can have these intrusive thoughts that feel foreign to you. You ever experienced that? I know I have. I've had thoughts where like, whoa, where the heck did that come from? That was certainly not me. That did not come from me. But you can battle those thoughts with your negative thoughts. You feel like all these negative thoughts are attacking your brain. You can fight them off. Those are the only tips I have for trying to make those types of changes to your mentality. You know what's coming. That's it for this video. Try and smile no matter what happens in life, and really actually try to be positive. Make yourself a promise to be more positive in any situation in life, and you will start seeing changes. Till next time, bye.